Are you a beginner that looking for chess traps that actually work in low elo? Then you have to know all of these top 8 chess traps for beginners. Let's start with number 8, Tennyson trap or ICBM trap. This start with e4, d5 the Scandinavian defense, then we play here with Tennyson gambit knight f3. Black accept the gambit by taking our pawn on e4. We play knight g5 to attack the pawn and f7 file. Black defended through knight f6. Then we play d3, black would keep on one pawn advantage, that's why they take it. We take back with bishop. Black best or common move is knight c6 or even e6. But if they push h6 to attack our knight, then it's a huge blunder as we just sacrifice our knight by taking f7 pawn. Hitting queen and rook, nitrogen monoxide. Other options for black is to take with king, then another sacrifice for bishop g6 check, then they loses their queen. Number 7, England gambit trap. England gambit trap starts with d4, e5, the England gambit opening, white takes e5, knight c6 attacking e5, knight f3 defending the pawn, then queen e7 adding pressure, and e5 pawn, bishop f4 to add in defender. Then we comes with queen b4 check while hitting also the bishop and pawn on b2, bishop d2 to avoid being takes and also to block the check, then we just simply takes b2. They attack our queen and defending rook to be take, thinking it's a good idea, but we have a beautiful bishop before pinning opponent's bishop. If they defend by playing queen d2 to support the bishop, then we just simply takes their bishop hitting the queen. If they take with their queen, then checkmate. But if not, like taking using knight, then they lose their rook with check. Knight to defend. Takes pawn on e5 with our knight and also to get a trade. Then it's already a clear advantage. Number 6, legal trap. This trap is one of the most effective chess traps I've ever played. So this trap starts with e4, e5, knight f3 attacking e5, knight c6 defending, then bishop c for hitting f7. The Italian game, d6 supporting e5 and allowing bishop to develop, knight c3, then bishop g for pinning the knight, h3 attacking bishop. The most common response for black is to take the knight, but if they back on h5 to maintain the pin, then we have a beautiful knight takes e5, leaving the queen hanging. In low elo, it's a high chance that they take your queen, then bishop takes f7 check, nitrogen monoxide other square to move, which is e7, then knight d5 checkmate. Let's go back in this position. What if they know the trap? That's why instead of taking your queen, they take your knight. Then we can just take their bishop. They take your bishop as well and queen b5 check, queen defend, then take knight. Same quality of pieces takes, but a little advantage for your position and development. Number 5, Blackburn Shilling Gambit Trap. One of the trickiest and most effective lines against beginners players. So, this starts with e4, e5, knight f3 attacking re5, knight c6 to defend, then bishop c4, but now we can play knight to d for setting up a trap. Giving pawn e5, if they take that e5 pawn, then we can go our queen on g5 attacking both knight and pawn on g2. If they're afraid of the attack on g2, they can push g3, but we can just simply take their knight. That's why they take f7 with their knight, since it is protected by the bishop, but also having the idea of forking your queen and rook. But we can now come to take g2 attacking the rook. If they want to hold on this rook, they must play on f1. Then we can just simply take c4 with a check. They can't block queen because there is our knight, that's why they defend using bishop. Then a beautiful smoother checkmate on f3. Number 4, Elephant Trap. Elephant Trap starts with d4, d5, c4, the queen's gambit, then e6 declining the gambit, knight c3 adding pressure to d5, knight f6, bishop g5 pining the knight to the queen. Then here knight to d7 defending the other knight. They take d5, we capture back. Opponent may think that they can just take this pawn since the knight's blocking the queen, thinking we can't recapture with our pawn, that after they take the pawn, we can just take back with our knight leaving our queen hanging, because after they take, we can just go on beautiful bishop b4 check, and queen d2 is the only option for black to move, takes, and take black's bishop, and we up of material. That is the elephant trap. Number 3, the Lasker Trap. So this start with d4, d5, c4 the queen's gambit, then e5, the Albin counter gambit. There's also more variations after here, but in this trap, they take e5 and we push to d4. Because it is defended by our queen, they go commonly e3, and it's a mistake because we can just play bishop b4 check. They cover with bishop as well. Then here we can take e3, hanging our bishop. Mostly beginners take it, then we can just take f to pawn check. White can't take because it loses his queen, that's why the only option to move of king is e2. Then we can take their knight and promote. Instead of promoting it into a queen, we promote it into a knight check. Go back to e1, queen h4 check, move to d to then knight c6 attacking opponent's bishop. It's already winning. But in continuation, like they go their bishop on c3, we can go also bishop g for attacking their queen. And if they want queen to queen, then we can just castle first with a check. Knight d4 check, if they take the knight they loses their queen, that's it. Number 2, Fishing Pole Trap. The fishing pole trap is one of the easiest traps for white to fall for. So, it start with the Rey Lopez opening, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6 and bishop to b5, then knight f6. Then they secure their king by castling. There we go on knight g4. Most beginners go h3 attacking our knight, trying to kick it out. But instead of going back on f6, we just move h5. If they take, then they fall for the trap. We can just take back and hitting their knight, that's why they go back on e1. Then we go our queen on h4 intending to mate the opponent. They trying to save their king by pushing f3 but we can just block it with push and also of our pawn on g3 and checkmate is already waiting. And number 1. The Ponziani opening trap. Ponziani opening traps to surprise your opponent and gain a quick advantage with these clever tactical ideas. This starts with e4, e5 knight f3, knight f6 the most common two moves in chess. Then c3, the Ponziani opening, knight f6, and we go play d3, giving our pawn on e4. After they takes on free pawn, we push d5 attacking their knight. It goes back on e7 then we can now take e5. They move d6 attacking our knight then bishop b5 check. c6 to defend, just take it with pawn. And if they are too greedy to take your knight which is actually free, then we take on b7 with a check of bishop. Bishop d7 to defend, we can just take back. Then take rook a8 and promote into queen check. No other move other than to cover with queen, then a brilliant checkmate. That's it, but this time, I will show you other chess traps that you can still use. The fried liver attack trap.